Hey, Brown Beauties. Welcome to Well Honestly, the podcast, sponsored by Brown Women Wellness. I'm Andretta, a functional nutrition wellness coach.
And I'm Akila. We are your mother-daughter hosts, bringing two different generations together weekly to educate you on all things related to health, nutrition, financial, and mental wellness during these changing times.
Once we know what choices we have, we can do better because we know the struggle to stay healthy is real.
We invite you to come as you are, but leave inspired to become your best healthy self. So let's get started.
Hey, and we're back.
We back.
So I was doing some thinking one day. Actually, someone came to me about this and asked me to give them a list of foods they wanted to eat healthier. And this is how this came up. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? It's difficult for most people to go totally. Let me go back. Let me digress rather. We as a culture have been taught to cook our foods a certain way. If we don't taste, if it don't taste like what we think it's supposed to taste like, we're not going to eat it. That's the bottom line. We have as a culture some foods that we just swear by. And we can even go to people's houses, and if they don't cook it the way we like it, we won't eat it. And there's a big difference between our cultures. I'll give you something. You don't see too many people. I mean, our culture, we eat a lot of grits.
Am I black folks?
Black folks. Okay, I just gonna say it.
I mean,
we eat grits. We eat grits. There are certain things, and I found out grits was a slave favorite back in the day, and that's how it became popular.
We eat grits and Italians eat polenta, which is the same thing.
Okay, so it's a fancy name.
It's a different way that they make it.
Okay.
We've gotten the probably sloppy seconds of it, but the polenta is more refined and more.
It's all corn.
Yeah, but still.
So anyway, what I decided to do, I said, look, is there a way that we can be healthier and we can just change the ingredients? We don't have to actually change the menu. So I decided to dedicate this podcast to that so we can talk about some of those fan favorites and what can we do. And Keela, she don't talk about this very much, but Keela has a chef background. And she actually can whip something together up in a minute. Okay.
I can cook.
And we both like to cook. And of course, cooking is becoming a what is the word? A dinosaur. People aren't cooking no more these days. People are running out fast foods and people.
I'm gonna have to object.
Okay.
People are cooking now. The pandemic shifted that. If you're on TikTok, shout out to anybody that's on TikTok. The cooking videos are a hit because people actually are cooking now.
Well, that's good to hear. I want people to cook. Excuse me. I'm sorry. As we go back into we get back into our regular lifestyle. Hopefully, they'll keep the cooking, and because everybody loves working from home. So we have some doozies for you today because like again, I said, as brown people. Black people, we don't like anyone to mess with our ingredients, so we'll be quick to criticize you for the food.
That is so true. And you know what? That is what keeps us back. That holds us back. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you really would just expand your mind, that's what this episode ultimately is about, is expanding your mind to expand your palate, to change your health, to live longer. Because we can't continue to eat the way that we have traditionally been known to eat. It is killing us, not even slowly, at this point, fast. And so I want everybody to listen with open ears and an open mindset and just try it. Sometimes we hear something,
right.
And it's like, you ain't even tried it
but
yet.
You
don't even know.
But let me tell you something. When that check engine light comes on, which usually comes on around in the 40s and the 50s.
In your 30s now.
In your 30s now. Because recently I had a good friend that had a heart attack. And luckily it was caught in time. But he inspired this episode because he asked for my health coaching skills to help him change his eating habits so he could heal and live a healthier lifestyle. And he's coming from that standard, I call it the standard Black American diet of fried chicken, greasy, Cheerios for breakfast, greens with ham hocks and ribs, macaroni and 5 cheeses, sweet
You gotta have 5 cheeses.
tea with, I'm talking about tons of sugar dumped over into the tea. You get the picture, right? So that's where he's coming from. So So I told him, I said, here's what we're going to do. In our first session, I want to keep some of your favorites, but we're going to swap them out for a healthier version. Because what I want this to do is be a lifestyle for you. I don't want you to eat it and then say, ooh, that's nasty, and don't try it anymore. We got to try to make it healthy. So, and listen, I'm going to tell you something. The key to a lot of this is your seasonings. If you get good, and I'm telling you something, those little dollar store seasonings y'all see, stay away from them. Okay, that's not real.
McCormick.
If you can't smell the seasoning when you open up that jar, like I'm gonna give you a good prime example, garlic. You like to cook with garlic. If you open that and take that top off, and if you can't smell garlic and you just start pouring it over that's not garlic. Same thing with
Very
onion.
true.
Same thing with lemon pepper. If you can't smell no lemons, that's not lemon pepper. That's some chemicals that you're dumping on your food. So we're going to do a whole show on seasonings one day, but it starts with the seasonings. Okay. And you know what? Hey, guys, I hate to tell that. Break this down to you. Lawry's seasoning salt. Lawry's, Lawry. Lawry seasoning salt. I used to swear by it. You couldn't tell me that Lawry seasoning salt wasn't going to make my food taste good. One day I read something on Lawry seasoning salt about the ingredients in it. And of course, it contains MSG. And I said, oh my God, we've been slowly killing ourselves with Lawry seasoning salt. I don't think there's a house you can go into and open up a cabinet of seasoning and won't see Lawry seasoning salt. But I'm here to tell you it is dangerous. That is one of the most dangerous chemicals you could use. So get you a good sea salt. Okay. So in our first session with my client, who's my patient now, I wanted to swap out a lot of the high fat stuff for low fat, low sugar, gluten free options. And he was ready to listen after he had his procedures. So I thought I would share some of the ideas with our audience. There's someone out there that needs help as well. So we thought we'd start in the morning. So the standard Black American diet starts with bacon and eggs and grits and toast, if it's not pancakes. And if you're in a hurry, they grab a bowl of Cheerios or Raisin Bran cereal with whole milk. And a lot of people think 2% whole milk is better than regular milk, and it's not. After they bought, because after all, a lot of people bought into that. We did a whole episode, I think, on milk one day. We bought into that commercial that milk does a body good. Okay? We have no business. We are not cows. Cows drink cow milk. We're the only species that drink other people's milk. Okay. The cow drinks the cow milk, goat drink goat milk. Our bodies weren't made to drink the milk from a cow because we're not made like a cow. Okay. So,
child,
yeah.
Hold on.
All right.
Let that breathe.
Okay.
Because somebody needs to hear that.
Yeah. So that 2% whole milk, low fat that you think you're getting because it says that doesn't mean it's doing your body good.
It's doing nothing for you.
And so tip really and truly, if you want to have some milk, if you just got to have milk, there now you see it showing up. You got to watch these too, though. And that is what the so-called quote unquote almond milks, because some of those almond milks don't have not one almond in them. But there are a lot of plant-based milks out there. So good brands, read your ingredients, people. That's all I got to tell you. If you turn the box over and it says almond milk and 50 other ingredients, I guarantee you it has very few almonds.
And almonds are at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, so be very careful there. So let's talk about what you can do differently to help your body become healthier. And if you need to lose a few pounds while you're at it, that's a side bonus. So here's a new morning routine for you. All right, this is a good one. Instead of reaching for that latte and with heavy sugar in it and all the whipped milk on across top of it.
Let me tell you something. Hold on before you go into what to do. There has been an uptick in coffee lovers and drinkers. I know you're not hip to it because you're not on like the TikToks and the Instagram. First of all, don't judge me because I have gotten sucked into TikTok. I don't make TikToks, but I do watch.
I heard you bring
I enjoy it. You know why? Because it actually gives
it's entertaining.
It's a different type of. It's raw. It's funny. I never not laugh. And you can honestly cater your TikTok experience to what you're into. So you don't have to, like with Instagram, you really can't cater much unless you follow certain accounts.
Okay.
You can cater what you see. And it's not a bad experience. I actually implore everybody to explore TikTok because it's not as bad as, it's not even bad. Like it's just what you make it. But I say all that to say, there's been a rise, and it's even on Instagram now, where people are just making videos about all their lattes and all of the they pouring the slow milk, slow-mo milk, and the foam and the honey. They doing it. I mean, like, it makes you even want it. Like, oh my God, like that looks delicious. Then
Mhm.
they have the other side of that coin where go to Starbucks and get this, and they have everything created. Like, you got to try the double matcha with the cold foam, vanilla, this, that, and the third, and like everybody just starts to like try it and then give their feedback on it. So I'm saying all that to say, slow down,
'Cause when it gets on the black social media website, black social
slow
media,
down.
it's a phenomenal.
Well, just slow down because I look at these videos and all this, and it looks cool, and I love that. So much sugar that y'all are intaking.
Yeah.
Where is the coffee?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's even, I mean, because coffee aside, all that extra syrup, and then you wonder why, one, you have brain fog, two, you get real tired towards the middle of the day, and three, you got to keep going for coffee, 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 coffee. Now, this is coming from a coffee drinker who I have not had coffee in a minute, and I really can't do coffee like I used to anymore. And every now and again, I'll force it, but just slow down and try this method. Go
So
ahead.
here's a new morning routine. Instead of when you wake up, I want you to get a half a lemon and cut it and add it to some warm water and add some raw honey to start your day off instead of a coffee latte. And what this will do is hydrate your body, getting it ready for the day and give you a boost of energy. Do that. Try it. Just try it. It's a
Warm
half,
or room temperature
yeah,
water.
I mean, just get a half a lemon, squeeze it out at the bottom of a jug, and pour some water over it. Add a little
Raw.
yeah, raw honey, y'all. Not that
Not the
stuff.
bear,
Don't
but the raw.
please don't buy the bear.
And
That's
not honey packets that
it's
you
not
got
it's
from wherever else you got it from.
not real honey, you guys. Honey is another one that they have
I
sabotaged.
just want to say this real quick because it just inspired me. Hey, don't be cheap on your health. I'm gonna repeat that. Don't be cheap on your health.
Because you spend it on
Y'all
everything
spend
else.
that money on all the labels, on all the fly stuff, all of that. But please, raw honey is gonna cost you a little bit more than regular honey.
Mhm.
Spend it.
Yes. So next is what we call break fast. And y'all call it breakfast, but it's break fast. So instead of grits, try steel oatmeal with fruit toppings. Use some maple syrup instead of the sugar for the sweetener. I'm sorry. Once you introduce sugar to your body will crave carbs all day long. You wonder why you're hungry? You just ate because you introduced it the first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing to do instead of reaching for the grits and Cheerios is to build a smoothie. I love fruit
I love
smoothies.
smoothies.
Get your fruit smoothie. Start with a base of coconut water. Add a banana, some wild blueberries, mangoes. Then throw a handful of spinach in there with some protein powder and a splash of ginger. This will give your body energy. This is also good if you're on the go. You know how you're running out the door. You can make your smoothie and take your smoothie with you.
One day we're gonna have a freebie dedicated to all of our favorite smoothies.
That would be great.
One day we'll do that.
That'll be great. And then, and this should last you until lunch. Now we're going, lunch, everybody going to get them little sandwiches and snacks and pizza slices or whatever fancy you. All right, here's another suggestion. Build a salad in a mason jar. That is one of the coolest things because you kind of layer it and you can opt for a grain-free bowl of goodness. You know what I mean? Here you can freestyle it. Just stay away from troublemaking foods. Y'all know what the troublemaker foods are?
Remind them.
Troublemaker foods are dairy, gluten, soft drinks, pork, tuna, corn, all your industrial food oils like canola oil, corn, vegetables, safflower oil, soybean oil. Stay away from fish that contains a lot of mercury, you guys,
Especially women.
including tuna, caffeine. If you want a full list of these foods that cause inflammation, because those troublemaker foods cause inflammation, we're going to have it on our website. You can go to brownwomenwellness.com and download a list of troublemaker foods. All right, the last one we're going to discuss, and I think this is the last one. This is going to make y'all mad.
It made me mad.
It's going to make you mad. Eggs. Eggs is emotional for us. We have an emotional connection to eggs, but it's on the list of troublemaking foods. And see, we grew up with eggs prepared by our moms, uncles, aunts. Anybody can make an egg. I mean, even if you couldn't cook, you could go scramble an egg, right? And so eggs have a special place in our hearts. And it's very, I mean, you see, French toast, you make French toast with eggs, egg sandwiches, you get cheese omelets. It's so intense. And eggs are inflammatory, you guys. They didn't used to be, but they are now. And how did they become inflammatory? Who messed with our eggs?
The USDA.
Yeah. Because eggs were a survival food. If you didn't have nothing else, you could go
You
boil an
had
egg.
yourself an egg,
You can
honey.
have an egg. But the eggs these days are not the same eggs that you grew up on. Okay? And if you like science and you want to figure out, if you want to know why eggs are bad for you, because I'm not going to go into it on this podcast. I'm not going to bore you with the scientific studies of it, but there are I can actually post this on our website as well. There are some studies done on eggs, but here's the kicker. I'm just going to just bring it down to you in a nutshell. They started using eggs in the lab to raise pathogens. So they started, long story short, eggs have been manipulated. So many of the pathogens that we have out here, they were raised on eggs in the labs in the early 1900s and 1930s. And they used those eggs to make the pathogens. So that's how eggs got to be bad for us. So it's a shame too, because man, I used to love me some eggs.
Here's the thing. If you're going to not give up eggs, just go for a better quality egg until you may reach a point where you no longer want eggs. Because the reality is that everybody's not going to give up eggs. And we can talk about eggs until we're blue in the face. Instead of going for the traditional white carton, white egg,
We talked about this on another episode.
Go for a better quality egg. Me personally, I actually was kind of tired of eating eggs. And then I found out that I really need to stay away from eggs for a while, if not permanently. So I'm kind of off them. But here's the thing. I would be foolish to sit here and say, I'm never eating eggs again. Eggs show up, if you're not just outright eating eggs, it shows up in so many foods that if you're outside eating, you're probably going to eat an egg. But if you're going to be at home and you're going to cook with eggs, like I said, a quality egg.
Quality is pasture raised, organic.
If it says non-GMO, even better. Just look for and pay for
it's going to cost
the
you
better eggs, and just do that. So, I want to be realistic about the fact that yes, eggs are no longer the best for you at all. But, telling somebody, yeah, give up eggs overnight is insane. No one's going to do that.
If you read this scientific study, though, it'll make you want to give it up.
Yeah, for a time. All that stuff for a time will make people want to stop doing things, sure. But overall, I think you have to reach that point. And while you're getting there and you're still going to continue to ingest and do these things, a better option.
We got the point. You saying quality
I'm
eggs.
just saying, I'm trying to be realistic, and Andretta telling y'all to just stop.
You know me. But anyway, when we come back, we got one of our fan favorites, one of our Black culture favorites to tell you how to swap. And you're going to like this one, Keila. When we come back, we're going to give you one more swap. Oh, yes. Okay. And then we'll be right back. Brown Women Wellness mission is to empower brown women and their families through education and products to help improve their family health and wellness through a lifestyle of easy and actionable steps. I'm Andretta Robinson, functional nutrition wellness coach. In 2008, I was diagnosed with an early stage of cancer. My doctor wanted to remove my womb as a cure, but I was determined there had to be another way. After lots of research, I found a curable alternative, forcing my doctor to treat it without any surgery. And in 2018, I was visiting my aunt in Atlanta after having lost my mother to heart disease and saw her health was in distress with high blood pressure and all things related. A visit to the health food store to formulate herbal teas, which is now called Brown Women Wellness Anti-Inflammation Tea, and a diet and lifestyle change turned my aunt's health around. I knew I had found my calling. We bring you healthy lifestyle information through our Brown Women Wellness website, our Brown Women Wellness Facebook group, emails, Instagram, and other social media websites, and our Well Honestly podcast. Find us. You'll be glad you did. Before we went on break, we talked about things you could do to swap out for breakfast and lunch. Again, this is you don't have to change the menu, just change the ingredient episode. So now this is going to be one of your fan favorites. So we're going to move into dinner. And a popular food among our Black culture is some fried chicken.
I actually have a craving for that
Oh
currently.
my God. So the question begs, if eggs are bad for you, what about the chicken? So God help us. I doubt if you can stop chicken lovers from eating chicken.
No.
But it can be prepared healthier and still be good. Now, if you have not invested in the air fryer, go do so. Why? Why? Because the air fryer, the way it's made, you don't have to use as much oil. And it's the oil and the fats in the chicken that is not good for you. It's not really the chicken itself, it's the way we prepare it. So, one way you could do it is air fry it, and it's real simple. You're going to season it up. Remember, you're going to get good seasonings. Remember, we want good, real seasonings. We're going to season that chicken up and throw it in the air fryer. This is good. Okay. And that will eliminate some of the oils and the fats. But if you old school, and you still want some deep fried chicken occasionally, it's not going to kill you. I have a recipe that's better. And remember, change the ingredients instead of changing the menu. So instead of frying it in vegetable oil or lard, if you're still using that lard, and it's on the shelf, so there are people out there that's still using it. And plus, when you go and buy fried chicken from some of these fast food places, they are actually using lard, just so you guys know. Especially some of the places where y'all say they got the best fried chicken, that's lard. And they're using vegetable oils or any of the bad oils. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to season your chicken like you normally do. You're going to heat up oil, but instead of using any of the bad oils, you're going to use avocado or grape seed oil. You can deep fry in both of these. Okay. And then instead of using bleached flour, because we think we got to have bleached flour, I want you to try cassava. It's spelled Cassava, cassava flour. It's a plant-based flour. You could coat it just like you do with regular flour. It's going to be white like regular flour. You dip it off like regular
Did you
flour.
tell them where cassava came from?
No, you tell them.
Well, cassava is a fruit.
Okay.
And with fruit, you can manipulate fruits and vegetables into any kind of form or method that you can. So cassava, you can take the hard shell or the outer layer of the cassava, and then you can dry it out, and you can that's how they create the flour.
And it's a really fine flour. And you could put it, you know how we normally do it. Remember the brown paper bag trick where your mama threw the flour in the paper bag and then you throw the chicken wing over into the flour in the paper bag and you shake it up and you throw it in the oil. You could do the same thing with cassava flour. And it is going to still be tasty, but it's going to be healthier. So again, try it. Just try it. Just try it one time. You can find cassava flour usually at the health food stores. You can't find it on every shelf. It's not, so you have to go to the health food store. But that's another way to fry one of our favorites.
And I'll say this, I've had this version of healthy fried chicken from Andrea, and it actually is extremely delicious. But don't think, like she said, you need to change up everything. Just change the ingredient, not the menu. But season that bird really good.
Yeah, season it really good. And one day, since we are now coming back into the world, we'll actually try to demonstrate this one. This is one of the ones. Actually, I think we have a YouTube video. I think we got to find it. We have a video.
It is not of chicken. It is of mushrooms.
No, we did chicken.
Did we?
We did chicken. I'm going to find it and I'm going to give it to our engineer, Brian, and see if he can upload it. I'm going to find it. I know we have a video of it.
It should already be uploaded then.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see if we can find it. But anyway, this wraps it up. So we're going to change the ingredients and not change the entire menu to get us healthier. And we will see you on our next episode. Keila, where can they find us?
You can find us everywhere on brownwomanwellness.com. Also, Brown Woman Wellness on all social media. Feel free to email us at info@brownwomanwellness.com with any kind of questions, comments, feedback. If you want to hear something in particular on this show, definitely feel free to email us. And then also don't forget to go to our website and go to freebies to download all of the things that we are discussing as far as swaps, things to stay away from, all of the good stuff that you want to get your hands on.
All right. I guess we'll see you next
all
time.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Well Honestly, the podcast. If you want to know more about us and our products, check us out over on our website at brownwomenwellness.com. And remember, ladies, we are not doctors, and any information shared by us is not medical advice. Always follow your doctor's advice.
And don't forget to rate and review our podcast and let us know what you loved about this week's episode. And please subscribe to wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Feel free to email us and let us know what you would like to hear more of from us. Don't be afraid to say hi. We'll say hi right back to you.
Don't forget to find us across all social platforms at Brown Women Wellness. As always, show notes with links to what we talked about today in this week's episode will be in the description box below. Thanks for listening.